Hey guys, Jack here, and today I'm bringing you the first episode of a new series, I guess, ongoing series I'm doing called Battlefield 3. It's personal. So, what is this? Well, whenever I get the chance to actually play Battlefield 3, I record it, obviously, and I have a lot of games where I'll do well, I'll get a good score, and we win the round. And I'll watch the footage back, and I just don't have anything to say about it. But I think you guys might like to see it. So I thought, well, I could commentate and just talk about what I'm doing or whatever. But instead, I thought, why don't I tell you guys more about me and my experiences? Because I know a lot of people have said that they'd like to know more about me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have these videos that I put out where I talk about my personal experiences related to certain topics. So I don't know, would you guys like to see this sort of thing? Obviously I'm going to talk about a topic in this video, but if you enjoy this video, let me know in the comments. And also, if I do get like an awesome gameplay and I haven't got time to do a commentary for it, because I like to plan my commentaries and make sure that there's no hiccups and they're recorded well, and I like to think that you're actually getting something back from them rather than just wasting 10 minutes watching a video. You actually learn something from it about the game or about whatever. Education's cool, and it keeps you watching the video. Anyways, if you wanted to see literally raw gameplay footage where I'm not commentating, because when I'm gaming and when I'm absorbed in the game, playing by myself, I don't really talk. I think to myself a lot, and sometimes I sort of think out loud, but I don't really talk that much. So would you guys actually want to see footage where I'm literally just playing the game and there's no commentary? So say a normal commentary lasts about 10 to 12 minutes. That's how long a video would be. I'd cut out all the really boring bits, like, I don't know, running from point to point. But the most of it would still be there, and it'll be there for you to watch. And it would be a regular thing because, like I said, I do have a lot of these gameplays recorded where I do well, and I just delete them because I don't have anything to say. But yeah, would you guys like to see that? Anyways, on to the first topic of Battlefield 3. It's personal. And I don't know why I decided to pick this, but I'm going to talk about sleep and my experiences with sleep. I hope you haven't fallen asleep already from watching this video. But yeah, everyone sleeps, I guess, unless you're an insomniac. Which I wouldn't like to be, but I've had sort of experiences with that. So yeah, let's get on to it. So when I was a teenager, I used to sleep far too much, I think. And nowadays, I actually, as much as I like, lying in, I prefer to get up, and I don't really sleep that much. I'd say on average, I probably get about 5 or 6 hours sleep a night now, and then I'll just wake up and just start doing things. I feel much more productive. But yeah, when I was a teenager, I used to sleep in all the time, and for like 12, 13 hours, and do all-nighters and that sort of stuff, and that's really bad. It just promotes laziness. But I felt when I was younger I needed more sleep. I felt like my body needed more sleep, but now I feel like I don't. It's a very strange thing, but that's the way I feel anyway. And when I was a teenager as well, especially during my exams, so in England from the ages of like 15 to 18, you have exams. When I did it anyway, they were called GCSEs and AS levels, and then A levels, and then you go to university. Anyways, during that period, I think my parents put like a lot of pressure on me to do well. Obviously they were just trying to help me out, because if you do well in school, you can then hopefully get into a good university and get a good job, all that jazz. And anyway, I got quite stressed when I was a teenager due to that. And of course I was gaming a lot at the same time, and all this pressure that I had, and I used to get a lot of migraines, and the only way to get rid of a migraine, or to get rid of my migraines, was to sleep. And I used to get like proper migraines that lasted, you know, a day, sometimes 2 days, and they would start off with like a weird sort of thing with my vision, where I would get lots of cobwebs in front of my eyes and everything would go blurry, and I'd feel sick, and that would turn into a headache, and it would either be like in my left or my right temple. And you could take paracetamol, painkillers, ibuprofen, Migrelieve, none of it worked. The only fix for it was to go to sleep. And yeah, during that period I did just sleep a lot just to get rid of these migraines that I was having. And they were normally set off by cheese or nuts, weirdly enough. So if I was really craving a pizza, I'd have a pizza, but then I'd pay for it the next day by having a migraine. But yeah, I guess that was one of the reasons as well why I slept a lot when I was a teenager. Anyways, yeah, like I said, at the moment I don't get migraines anymore. As soon as I went to university, they went away. So I just think it was like a combination of things. Yeah, so everyone sleeps, of course, unless you're an insomniac, and sometimes I do have trouble getting to sleep, and it's normally when I'm thinking about stuff. For some reason my brain is a scumbag, and when I lie down in bed at night to get off to sleep, my brain just goes into overdrive and just starts giving me ideas, and for ideas for videos, ideas for everything really. Thinking about stuff, and I can't get to sleep, and then it just eventually ends up with me just getting up, just doing something. So yeah, that's probably one of the reasons I don't sleep much either. And I wanted to talk as well about something that I had a lot of, and I still get occasionally, and it's a thing called sleep paralysis. And if you don't know what this is, it's probably going to sound like I'm making it up, but you can look this up online. It is an actual thing. And the first time this happened to me, I'm just going to explain what happened to me. I was 17 years old, and I was my room had just been decorated in my house, so I couldn't stay in there for a couple of nights because of the fumes in there. So I was sleeping in my brother's old room. My brother at this point had moved out and gone to university, and I was staying in there with my girlfriend at the time, and I woke up in the middle of the night and I couldn't move. Okay, so I could move my eyes, I could look around the room, but my body was literally paralyzed. And if you can, at the time I had no idea what was going on. I thought I was dying, I thought I'd been paralyzed, whatever. So you wake up and you can't move, and naturally you get panicked. You start panicking because you think, what, am I dead? What is this? You know, it's a bit crazy. And anyways, in the corner of the room there was this sounds fucking stupid, but there was a black, misty, smoggy fog thing, okay? And it gave me that feeling of dread, right? A feeling of threat, adrenaline. You know, like when you get in a fight, or you know some shit's gonna go down in real life, and you get that adrenaline, and you get a sense of dread, a sense of death, of, oh shit, something bad's gonna happen. You get that feeling and it just overwhelms you. And this thing, I couldn't bring myself to look at it because I was so scared of what it was. And I felt like there was a person in the room coming closer to me and closer to me, this black thing out the corner of my eye. And like I said, my girlfriend was in the bed next to me, so I was trying to speak to wake her up. So, you know, I was sending all the signals to speak, but nothing was coming out. And, you know, that makes the panic worse and worse. And eventually I got my breath back and it just snapped me out of it like that. Bam, I could move again. And yeah, I was like, what the fuck just happened? What was that? And I spoke to my girlfriend the next day, and she was doing like a psychology class at school. And I said, you know, I explained it, what happened. And she'd actually studied it in psychology. And turns out it was this thing called sleep paralysis. And I looked, you know, I read some books about it and looked it up online. And it's an actual thing. And the scientific explanation of it is when you dream or when you're in REM sleep, your body creates a chemical that essentially sort of paralyzes you, so you don't act out your dreams. And people that sleepwalk and do shit in their sleep that they're not supposed to, this chemical doesn't really work. But anyways, it's a malfunction with your body where it wakes you up when you're still in REM sleep and you've still got this chemical circulating around your body. So it's essentially being awake whilst you're dreaming. And that is a very weird thing to think about, and I guess you only really know what that feels like if you've experienced it. I think it's also called like lucid dreaming or something like that. But yeah, and it happens to me when I'm sleeping on my back. So I try not to sleep on my back because I've had it a few times since then. Obviously I'm 25 now, and that was when I was 17, so that's 8 years, and I've probably had it around, I don't know, 20-25 times since then. And it's always when I'm sleeping on my back. And the next few times it happened, you know, I just was like, oh, this again, can't move. There's a guy in the corner of the room coming towards me, but I was like, I'm cool with it. And I just tried to get my breathing back, and eventually you just snap out of it. So yeah, I don't really sleep on my back. I always try and sleep on my sides, because otherwise I get sleep paralysis. And I think it's something to do with your breathing. But yeah, it was very scary the first time it happened to me. Has that ever happened to you guys? Has that happened and you didn't know what it was, but now you sort of maybe think it could have been that? Do you get it regularly? It's called like a night terror as well. Some people used to call it like the old hag, because it feels like someone's sitting on top of you and pushing your body down, and that's why you can't move. And I think there was like an old wives' tale that it was a hag. When people didn't understand what it was, they just thought it was like some sort of evil demon, evil spirit just sitting on you, stopping your breathing. And yeah, people often see like a grey figure in the corner of the room coming towards them, and they say that that is a real world sort of image of your dreams. So like I said, you're dreaming but you're awake, but you can still see things that you shouldn't be able to see, but it's all in your head, of course. There's not actually a fucking old hag there trying to rape you. It's yeah, it's just all from your subconscious. But yeah, apart from that, I guess I sleep on my side. I put one arm under the pillow, and then I like sort of like lay on my side. I do that technique, one under the pillow, one sort of on the bed. That's the technique that I use. I always sleep on the left hand side of the bed, and my girlfriend sleeps on the right hand side, and it just doesn't work any other way. Like, that's the way it is. That's my side and that's her side, and that's the way it's going to be, and that's never going to change. So yeah, I guess that's interesting. Yeah, and also when I dream, I don't dream very often, but when I do have pretty vivid dreams. And when I wake up, I always try and write down what happened, because they give me some cool ideas, the dreams that I have, and it's stuff that I don't think I could come up with consciously. I couldn't think about some of the stuff that I dream about, so it's always important to me to write them down or make notes of them, and try and remember exactly what happened, because you actually come out with some cool ideas. Anyways, I think this video is coming to an end. I'm nearly out of gameplay, and you saw some AK with a suppressor. Probably the worst gun in the game, but still managed to do pretty well with it. Let me know if you enjoyed this sort of thing. It gives you a bit of a insight, I guess, into my life and my experiences. Let me know your experiences with sleep in the comments. Thanks for watching. Leave me a rating if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. One thing I forgot to mention as well that's quite funny but quite embarrassing at the same time that happened to me, and it's to do with sort of sleepwalking and like talking in your sleep. Like I'm a bit of a talker in my sleep, and I do come out with random things when I'm asleep. But there was one situation in particular when I was at a Counter-Strike LAN in London, and I was staying in a hotel with my teammates, and me and one of my teammates, Ryan, shared a room together. And in the middle of the night, I remember waking up and I was half asleep, but I was dreaming, and I was convinced that my girlfriend was in the bed next to me. So I stood over his bed, and I went to hug him because I felt like he was alone, because I thought he was my girlfriend. Yeah, there we go. That's a funny, embarrassing story. And he just woke up and was like, "Jack, what the fuck are you doing?" And I was like, "I have absolutely no idea." And I just said to him, "Sorry, man, I was asleep. I thought you were my girlfriend." And then went back to bed. Anyways, I thought I'd throw that in the air in the end anyway, because that's quite funny. And yeah, see you guys in the next one.